Dispatch is a superhero management sim that's got everyone either screaming Game of the Year or shaking their heads just like they witnessed the developer commit cardinal sin. It's a game that puts you in the hot seat, managing a team of dysfunctional heroes, making split second decisions, and navigating a workplace that makes your office look like a holiday, should I say vacation. But does that make it sound really great? Really? Now, I love cartoons. Yes, I know I'm in my mid 40s, but I grew up watching Transformers,
Your knowledge is only overshadowed by your stupidity, Starscream.
Captain Planet, Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm currently trying to get my 4-year-old son into watching X-Men 97, though I keep losing out to Spider-Man. So a game like Dispatch is right up my street. The absolutely undisputed champion of a game is its narratives. Hand down, one of the best written games I've ever played in years.
Why are his nuts out?
Oh, thought that was normal. You mind helping him?
Why would you crinkle cut your balls through your zipper if you don't have... What are you asking me?
A real superhero workplace comedy where choices matter. It's full of emotion, depth that genuinely resonates. The humour actually lands constantly, and I found myself really laughing out loud at the banter between the Z team and Robert's dry observations.
I've never felt silly wearing this.
Until now.
Yeah, I was trying to imply that with the silence.
It worked. Get dressed.
The sheer absurdity of the corporate superheroism. Each character is distinct and fully fleshed out. You feel like you get to know them immediately. Invisigirl with her sarcastic wit, Gollum with his unexpected depth, and the fact that I can't get over how much Flambe looks like Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon. I became invested in their squabbles, their tiny victories, their deeply personal struggles. We're talking about a story that explains the theme of redemption, office politics, and what it really like to be a superhero when you're just the guy in a chair. You play as Robert Robertson, an ex-hero is now a dispatcher, wrangling a team of ex-supervillains. It's a genius setup, ripe for dark comedy humour and sincere interactions. The game properly delivers as well. The characters are multidimensional, the dialogue is sharp and funny, and the voice acting is absolutely top tier. Got Laura Bailey in there, Aaron Paul. They're bringing these misfits to life in a way that truly makes you care. It's a binge-worthy experience. Each episode is crafted like a TV show, leaving you constantly wanting to know what happens next. Not just what happens, but who it happens to. And that right there is where Dispatch really grabs you by the feels and doesn't let you go. Pacing is also excellent. The entire foundation is laid out in the first episode and nothing feels rushed. It's like a good comic book miniseries, impossible to put down. However, while the narrative is practically top tier, the gameplay side of Dispatch is where the fault lines appear. The central gameplay loop, the dispatching itself, is where my internal battle really begins. On one hand, I appreciate the strategic element. You've got a map, emergencies pop up, and you need to assign your Z team heroes based on their stats. Combat, intellect, charisma, mobility, and vigor, matching the right hero to the right situation and balancing its cooldowns. It can be an engaging challenge. It's sort of. It's a compelling management sim tucked inside of narrative adventure, really. And at its best, it creates a fantastic blend of mechanics and storytelling. When the hero is debuffed because of a choice I made earlier, or refuses a job due to low morale, that's brilliant. It reinforces the idea that my conversations actually matter. But then you have the minigames, where you're shuffling power sources and evading antivirus orbs, and these elements just, I don't know, this don't quite feel land. They feel like hacking puzzles, more like a distraction, maybe even a little annoying. It's not like they're inherently broken or anything, they just break up the flow. You could be deep in a gripping conversation, emotionally invested in Robert's choices, then all of a sudden you're playing this slightly janky mobile puzzle game. It disrupts the immersion. I don't really like using that word, but you know, it does. And I think they're only there to give you something to do, because ultimately this is a narrative game, more like an interactive cartoon show or one of those visual novels. Not those kind of visual. Although there is a bit of that in there. And this is when we get to the choices matter part. Dispatch heavily advertises itself on that premise. The idea that your decisions profoundly influence the unfolding narrative, character relationships, and even in your own quest. And yes, initially it feels like they do. You're making tough calls. Laying a team member off very early on does have ramifications later. You feel the weight of these choices. But if you have played narrative games where choices truly branch and diverge dramatically, think like Detroit Become Human or Supermassive's horror titles, Dispatch eventually reveals its hand. The overarching narrative does feel more on rails than promised. It's not that the choices are meaningless, but they don't alter the fundamental story beats as much as I hoped. It's the illusion of agency. I mean, a powerful one for sure, but the illusion nonetheless. And it might leave you feeling a bit hollow, probably. Well, I mean, for me it did. This isn't to say that it's bad writing, I mean, far from it, but I think it's a valid criticism when a game leans heavily into a player agency as a core selling point. That being said, for a narrative-focused game, the feeling of agency, even if the grand narrative is somewhat contained, can be just as impactful. Every choice you make in Dispatch influences Robert's relationship, the team's allegiances, and how you perceive the characters. It deepens your connection to the story, and you might not alter the apocalypse, but you might decide if a specific hero despises you or idolizes you. And that emotional investment is what kept me hooked, episode after episode. I suppose it's more about the journey and not the destination. And in an era where genuine branching narratives are incredibly complex and expensive to produce, Dispatch strikes that balance that you might find perfectly acceptable, if not outright brilliant. Despite these frustrations, I still find myself recommending Dispatch. It's the conflict, isn't it? The core narrative, the characters, the voice acting, the sheer polish of the presentation is generally some of the best I've seen in an interactive narrative space in years.
Pain's constant. It's easier to get used to. That goes for physical and emotional. Ow. Really is nice up here. Thank you. Don't remember if I've thanked you before, but...
About 50 times. You were muttering it the whole flight.
Then I take it back.
It is a spiritual successor to Telltale games, but one that tries to evolve even if those evolutions sometimes stumble. It's compelling, often hilarious, and surprisingly touching story about found family, responsibility, and what it means to be a hero, even when you're just pushing papers and barking orders at former supervillains.
Is this it?
What you mean is this it? Bitch, you know what time it is?
Sorry.
I didn't mean it like that. Thanks for getting out of bed, or whatever you were up to.
Yeah, I think I'll need to fall asleep, so I might need just a little.
Are you gonna finish your sentence, big man?
Oh. Shit, I thought I did.
Look, we're shorthanded.
Fuck you.
We should have the rest of the team trickling in, so we'll have to make do for now. Lucky for us, we got the best 3 heroes on the roster.
We all know you'd say the same shit about whoever was here.
It's just that some of the actual gameplay and the choice architecture pulled me out of the magic. It's like having a perfectly cooked steak, but the plate is a little chipped and the knife is a little bit dull. You still enjoy the steak, but you can't help but notice the annoyances.